Something I saw last night. This is, or I should say was, Cecil the Lion. Beautiful animal, 13 years old. He'd been wearing a GPS collar as part of an Oxford University research project. They've been tracking him for years, and during that time, Cecil became like a local favorite amongst the tourists and the guides. He was always around. People loved to see him on safaris until earlier this month when a tourist on a hunting trip shot him for sport. And, of course, everyone is angry and upset. Last night, I read this story. I happened upon the story, and the news report said they suspected it was a Spaniard who did it, who shot the animal. And I have to admit, when I saw it, I was so relieved it wasn't an American. I really was. I was like, this is terrible, but thank God it wasn't one of us for once. And then I went online this morning and learned that turns out it was an American. It was one of us. It was a dentist from Minnesota who paid $50,000 to shoot the lion.
Me great white hunter, me go. Track down animals, me go. Shoot down animals, me go. Chop up animals, me go. Dress my woman up in animal skins. Me build a den to hang dead animal heads in.
According to the news, he hired a company. He flew to Zimbabwe. Two locals took him to the national park. They tied a dead animal to the back of a Jeep to lure the lion out of the park because it's illegal to shoot them in the park. They call it baiting. And once they got the lion out of the park, they put a spotlight on him, and then the dentist shot Cecil with a bow and arrow. But the arrow didn't kill the lion, so they tracked him, and 40 hours later shot him with a gun, skinned him, and took the head and left the body there. Now, unfortunately for them, the researchers at Oxford who were tracking Cecil were able to trace the signal and find the carcass, and the local authorities found the hunters who they say they realized too late that they shot an animal with GPS. They tried to destroy the tracking collar, but failed to do that. So they know who it was. The American hunter, whose name is Walt Palmer, is currently in hiding. He closed his dental office in Bloomington, Minnesota. And this guy must have quite a collection of animal heads because, well, here he is posing next to a bear he shot. In 2008, he was convicted of a felony for lying about where he killed a bear in Wisconsin. He got a year probation for that. This is another lion he killed in 2008. This is a leopard. This is a rhino. He killed like half of Noah's Ark.
Me got big gun. Me got big bullets. Me got big trigger, and me like to pull it. Me like to hear that big loud sound. Me like to watch that animal drop to the ground. Me like to find endangered species. Me like to blow them all to pieces. Me like to be a nature raper. Me like to see my picture in the paper. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah.
The big question is, why are you shooting a lion in the first place? I mean, I'm honestly curious to know why a human being would feel compelled to do that. How is that fun? Is it that difficult for you to get an erection that you need to kill things that are stronger than you? If that's the case, they have a pill for that. It works great. Just stay home and swallow it, and you save yourself a lifetime of being the most hated man in America who never advertised Jell-O pudding on television.
There is no excuse for animal abuse.
The killing of the well-known big cat has caused outrage. In the U.S., angry animal lovers held protests outside the hunter's dental practice. They held banners saying, "I am Cecil." Walter Palmer has already been dubbed the most hated man in the country, with almost 200,000 signing a petition calling for him to be extradited to Zimbabwe.
Worldwide outrage tonight over the death of Cecil the Lion, killed at the hands of an American dentist.
Who killed Cecil the Lion?
Killing Cecil the Lion.
The hunt is on for the man who killed Cecil.
And even one of America's most popular comedians was pretty worked up about it, as he called on people to send donations to researchers in Oxford who are studying and tracking Cecil the Lion.
If you want to make this into a positive, you can, sorry. Okay, I'm good. Make a donation. Maybe we can show the world that not all Americans are like this jack here.
Well, according to U.S. diplomatic cables published by WikiLeaks, Cecil is far from being the only wild animal killed in Zimbabwe by an American hunter in recent years. Elephants, lions and other wildlife were among those who died, despite the hunting permits being issued seen as questionable. The leaks, however, state that the money from those hunting trips is vital to Zimbabwe's conservation efforts. The main concern appears to be about Americans being caught poaching illegally rather than the poaching itself. We asked some experts why they think Cecil's death is being singled out.
This WikiLeaks document has revealed that the U.S. knew that there was illegal hunting going on in Zimbabwe and allowed it to go on.
We got big Bronco, we got big fat tires, me get dressed up like Rambo and me open fire. Me shoot up anything that runs, walks, hops or crawls. Me like to show 'em who got the biggest brain of them all.
And by the way, I'm not against hunting. If you're hunting to eat or to help keep the animal population healthy or it's part of your culture or something, that's one thing. But if you're some a-hole dentist who wants a lion's head over the fireplace in his man cave so his douchebag buddies can gather around it and drink scotch and tell him how awesome he is, that's just vomitous.
Me like to find endangered species. Me like to blow them all to pieces. Me like to be a nature raper. Me like to see my picture in the paper.
Sorry.